Well, hey everyone, it's time for Geocache Talk. Whether at work, in the car, wherever you are, we hope you enjoy the show. Please give it a like, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, TuneIn Radio, or Google Play. So you get all the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music and our patrons, Demon Hunter 2, Aggie Jedi Master, Electric Water Boy, Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, Nick at Cashley. What do you know? One Kind Word, Ravenclaw Tia, Shermanator 18, Butterfly Girl, Loon Trackers, the Aussie Geocacher, Sodak Zach, The Deadliest Cachers, Terrell 2, Neil Moore, Molly the Geocaching Dog, Team D&D, Geocaching Adam, Peachy 1276, The No Code Geocachers, Curiosity Girl, Tick Magnet, Marsipanic, Bricker John, Fire Safe, SSFS Barrow, Geo Rick, Cache Addict Mel, Geocaching Janji, the Geocaching Junkie, Sir Dremelot, Janice, Tricasius, Tom Frey, Rugels, the Bruce Zero, EGK PBR, Casamaya, Master Sergeant USMC, and our new patrons, NRW and Albedo 0.39. If you'd like to become a patron, head over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get path tags, coins, and other geocaching swag during the year, as well as invites to special events only for patrons. Support levels start at as little as $3 a month. And I do want to mention that those special events we talked about, this Wednesday, our patrons are going to get together for our first ever Geocaching Jeopardy. So we're looking forward to that with our patrons. We usually do GC World, which I've got hanging back here. Which this is the board for Geocache for GC World, which we normally play. We're doing something different this time. We're going to do Geocaching Jeopardy. So I'm looking forward to that, and got some good questions. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's something we do for our patrons, along with our other goodies. Well, let me start by welcoming our co-host, Sydney.
Good evening.
And Jesse.
Good evening.
Let's just jump right in to show number 83 for January 21st. We welcome Nick Hubbard, Cachely developer, to the show. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, it was so good to have you on. I'm wearing my Cachely shirt tonight for all those who are watching.
So am I.
Yes. I don't know what the other two guys are doing, but they should be wearing their Cachely shirts.
I need to get some more shirts made and send them some.
Wait. If I had one.
Oh, you don't have one?
Oh,
I think we've talked about this before, so I
would proudly display my Cachely shirt.
So I have a Cachely shirt, but I actually wore it geocaching once, and it's got like sap and stuff all over it.
Hey,
that's no excuse.
It's badge of honor.
Battle scars. That makes it better.
That's right. Battle scars. I love it.
Yeah, but it's like weird. It's got that crunchy hardness on it now. And yeah, see?
I'll get you a new one someday. All right. We got a lot to cover. Let's get into some news. I got an update today from Zed Fox. We talked about him last week. And so I want to give an update. We were talking about trackables, and we got talking about Zed Fox. He's a truck driver. And that was so awesome to hear from him again. So let me give you a little update on him. Of course, he started listening to the show very recently. He's a cross-country truck driver based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And he runs mostly eastern U.S., but on occasion goes out west and even into Canada. And he mentioned, because we were talking about, I think Jesse was asking about, like, how many caches could he find? What's he finding, and what's his, all of that. And he wants to find all of them. But he tries to get out because something we talked about the truck driving. It's it can be kind of, I guess, boring, or also very sedentary. But he tries to get out and walk instead of just kind of walking randomly. He geocaches, which makes perfect sense. And he's found about 300. But this is the cool part that I thought was worth mentioning. He has a find in 36 states. And even 2 provinces of Canada. I thought that was cool. So
Awesome.
I think what's cooler is he has finds in all those places, and he has not found like 50,000 caches.
right.
You know what I mean? It's not as impressive once you've found that many. It's if you're starting off, or not starting off, but if you're finding caches in that many locations, and you're under a few thousand, that's pretty impressive. You're really going for the ones you want and traveling a lot.
Sure,
I think that's the coolest part of that.
Yeah, and hats off to him. I appreciate his work, and hats off to all our truck drivers. If we any other truck drivers out there that are listening, give us a shout out. Send us an email, geocachetalk@gmail.com. We'd love to hear more about what you're doing. But appreciate that. Thanks, Zed Fox. Another update. IB Geocaching, Peter. I don't know. He's probably in the chat room tonight. He's got a item coming. He's got set up to do group trackables for Pi Day. People that are having events can do trackable either geo medals or dog tags, buttons or key rings, personalized. And he has a page set up for that. ibgeocaching.com/group coins, all one word, /Pi Day 2018. So we'll have it in the show notes, link to it in the show notes. But, very cool. Our sponsors got something and if you're having a Pi Day event, this is perfect. So check that out, because Pi Day is always kind of cool to have events on. So
I haven't even checked. Are they doing a souvenir for Pi Day this year?
Well, they haven't said anything yet, but
I doubt it, honestly, because when they did it before, the numbers lined up perfectly, and now the year is wrong. So
right,
and it's on a Wednesday this year, so it's kind of weird.
Is it okay? Well, if you're done before or after, whatever you want to do there. But yep, check out IB Geocaching for that.
It was fun when there was the souvenir, though, because there was events everywhere.
Oh, I know.
Like a Saturday, they were all over the place, or Sunday one, they were all over the place.
It worked. It did work perfect because it was the weekend, and they did the two souvenirs, and you could put the two together, and you got the GC code to that kind of fake GC cache. So it was kind of neat. Something different was pretty cool. So speaking of something different, for Super Bowl Sunday, which for those that are not in the U.S. is almost sort of like a holiday in some ways, which is February 4th. We're not going to be doing a show, but we're doing something special for everybody. We're going to debut I don't know how often we're going to do this. We're going to give it a try, but we're going to be hopefully we're going to be visited by the Geocaching Oracle. I don't know if you are familiar with the Oracle of Delphi, where you got some information from her, and you got some riddles solved and things. So we're hoping the Geocaching Oracle shows up, and we're going to try to record that in audio, and we're going to send that out as a show on that day. And if you're interested in puzzle caches, or just interested in riddles of any kind, we're going to hopefully give you some clues to solving the puzzle that's going to be provided. And if you can answer where this item is in the world, it's going to probably be either a large structure, fairly known landmark. So it's not going to be so obscure you've never heard of it. So it's going to be a fairly known landmark, but the clues are going to be fairly cryptic. But if you can solve it, send us an email to geocachetalk@gmail.com. And first one that gets the correct answer will win a prize. So that is going to be on February 4th. So looking forward to that. But so we're going to start our show now, our topic with Nick. And we've done major updates. I think, Nick, last time we had you only did a 3.0 show a while back. And then what's funny is Nick and I did a show back on the old Cache and Release days with Michael Miller. And that was right when Cachely was fairly new, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was maybe a month old. I think it was in January that we did it.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah. It was.
it?
Yeah.
2 years ago or 3 years ago?
Three years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. If that sounds three. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. 2015. So, we've had a great relationship with Nick. He's one of our sponsors, and we all enjoy Cachly. It's our go-to app. So we thought this time would be cool to talk about maximizing Cachly. And so everybody get your Cachly out if you have iOS. If you don't, listen carefully because you might learn just something that you could translate into whatever app you like to use. So I think it's going to be a great night for that. So
Cachly, is that something I need to download? I don't have that.
you might. Oh yeah, yeah. Jesse's a big which we need to. It's good. It's a good thing to mention, Jesse, right off the top of the bat. Where can we get the app, Nick? And where should we go to get that?
If you have an iOS device, just go to the App Store and then just search for Cachly or geocaching, and you will see it on the top of the list there.
Right.
And somebody mentioned Kyle in the chat room called it Cachly 101. It's probably fair to say this is not going to be a 101. We're going to be into some more advanced stuff this time. So hopefully anybody that's new to it will just take the information and if they're going to get onto it later, they can catch up. But this is not really going to be a 101, guys. So we're going to get into some more advanced topics tonight.
Yes.
Just as a fair.
Yeah, but a lot of this can be if you're new to Cachly, I think you'll catch on pretty quick. But yes. So yeah, go out there and it's cheap. What are people paying for this right now?
It's $4.99.
I mean, that's I make
a cup of coffee.
It is. You need to make it like $14.99. I mean, it's worth more than that, but
there would be outrage if it was $4.99.
Probably would, but I tell you, it's worth more than that. It's been. I can't tell you how great it is. I don't have time.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Kyle in the chat room changed it to Cachly 401. So there we go.
Okay, there you go. Right.
We're good now.
Exactly right. So get out Cachly. We've all got our little Cachly out. And Cachly, in case for the audio listeners, when we want to go, if you want to go look for it out in the App Store. But first couple items I've got came from Rich R. Reagan. So thanks, Rich, for some of these items. And so we're going to go through them. And Nick, just ask you some questions. We'll just go right through them. So first one is to tap on a cache code at top of details page. It'll copy the code to your clipboard. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So if you're on the cache details screen of any cache, quick way to copy the GC code is just tap the title up there, and it'll be on your clipboard. So then you can paste forever after that.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Tap on any row in additional information, copies that to the clipboard.
Yep.
Okay. Kind of handy if you're trying to make notes to give to somebody, or just to kind of make your own personal notes, you think is what that?
Yeah, there's lots more information there that, like state, country, things like that we don't list on the actual details page. There's also, like UTM coordinates, stuff like that are a little more obscure. So just tapping on anywhere there will copy one of those rows of information.
Right.
What I use that for is if I'm writing like a trackable log or something, I like to say, maybe the event I saw this thing at. So I go in here, I copy the event name, and then I put it in my trackable log, and then I copy the GC number and I put that in as well.
That's good. I haven't thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Probably good too for puzzle caches to make some notes of the additional information too, if you're trying to solve for later. This is interesting. Long press, and I think we refer to it as also hard press. And we'll talk about that in a second. But long press on a map will drop a pin with the coordinates that can become either a waypoint or a target.
Yeah, so that's not hard press. So some devices, I think, with the 6S, you could press harder and it would, or deeper, and then you could show specific options if the app supported it. And that's something we'll touch on in a second. But yeah, if you hold your finger on the map, it should drop a pin right where your thumb is. And then you can actually move that pin by pressing it again and holding it and moving it around the map.
I
Yep.
left a little pin. There's my little pin right there.
And then if you tap the little eye icon, you can
Yeah.
have some extra options there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you get lots of little.
Yep.
It's funny. I
Options right
just did this, and the pin actually has a shadow on the map.
Yes, it does.
That I just found that so hilarious. I just noticed that just now.
Very
awesome.
cool. So then you can move it around. That's kind of
That doesn't have as much accuracy. But I mean, if you zoom in and you really know exactly where something is, you could move it a little bit.
right. Yeah, I can see I can move that pin around. That's cool. Okay, cool. Oh, very, very neat. Kind of handy too. We'll kind of talk about this as we go on through. Is the use of Cachely both for caching and also for hiding caches. So we've kind of got some ideas that you can use to use Cachely to help you and actually as a cache owner.
What? You can't hide a cache without a GPS. I think you'll get you get run out of the caching game for that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Sacrilege.
Well, yeah, sacrilege is right. Yeah.
If you looked at satellite imagery,
Yeah.
and you matched it with that on your iPhone, you might get away with it. And if the current location that it's showing you at is matching with the satellite imagery, it should be pretty accurate.
Since we've joked about it,
Right.
I suspect many people now hide with just a phone and the computer and checking it with through Google Maps later and double checking it and checking other things like that. I bet a lot of people now, whether they admit it or not, don't get their GPS out.
No.
Or
Now,
don't
one
have a
thing,
GPS.
right? I don't even know. I don't even own one
Nothing.
anymore. I sold off my last one, so I don't even use a GPS anymore.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do, and I think we would all agree with this, is if you are going to hide a cache, I usually do a double check using some sort of map program to make sure that what I've got is accurate. Which lately, though, I've been just using Cachely, and let me tell you, it has been accurate. But I usually double check it with Google Maps or something, make sure
That's what I've done.
not going crazy. Tap coordinates on cache page, toggles coordinate format. Long press on coordinates, copies them to clipboard.
Yep. So that's just another way to quickly copy the coordinates, and you can get two different formats there. And people have requested like the UTM format to be added
Oh
there.
my gosh, I didn't know this.
I didn't either.
Cool.
Yeah, and then long press on it, and it'll copy it. So
That's crazy. Okay, I didn't know that. I was going into additional information, I think, and copying the coordinates from there. But now it's nice to know that I can just copy them right from this first page.
perfect.
Wow, so much information already.
We are maximizing Cachely tonight.
There we go. I'm already learning all kinds of junk. That's great.
Okay. We got a lot, so I'm rolling. So we're learning a lot tonight. Your profile, if you go to your profile, which I'm assuming what our Reagan's talking about is go to more, go to your profile, which would be this is my profile. Let's see. There it is. Not perfect, but you can see it on the screen. There you go. There's Jesse's got his.
Everybody's got theirs. Okay.
Just cool. Go to finds. And if you go into finds, it'll retrieve 50 finds per load. And then you can sort them by only those loaded, but you can only sort those that are currently loaded. The order retrieved is random. If you'd like to at your finds, starting with most recent, use the logs action which are ordered. So I know
You thoroughly confused me. I thought I knew what you're talking about until you read that.
I did too. So I think Nick, you're gonna have to help us on this one here. So
these actually should be ordered by date last found. So
yes.
Look at
I
this
believe that's true.
but they're not. Mine are not.
Mine are.
Mine seem
That's
to
my
be.
last ones.
Right.
The little tour.
If you look at mine, you can see some in Texas, some in DC that I found. It's probably terrible. You probably can't see this at all.
We can see a little bit, but But you could go up to the top, right? You could go up here,
Yeah.
right, Nick? To the
In
very
this
top
view,
and change it.
at least on mine, look like they should be in the last found order, but I hope it's not a bug.
No, the
Mine
sorting,
does appear to be sorted correctly, at least from what I can tell.
Yeah, mine too, because it shows my map of the driving trail
Hmm.
where I went. So
Mhm.
And mine does
Right.
not show any on my trip from 2016. So these are just my trips from this year that it's showing. Recently, anyways.
very cool.
Now, is that something, Nick, that we were referring to earlier, but maybe not? What were you talking about? The retrieve 50 finds per load. Is that something you can't? Because we were talking about before, and this is something you might want to let people know. There's certain things that are in the API that you are not allowed as a developer to sort of tweak.
Yeah. So when you're loading caches like on the live map or this finds feature is actually doing a similar thing with just a username. But yeah, just so we don't overtax the servers at geocaching.com, they limit it to 50 caches, and then you can tap the refresh button to load the next 50 and the next 50 and the next 50. Because there's a lot of developers out there that are developers for geocaching.com, be it on iOS or Android or Windows or Mac or PC or even on the web. So I think if we were retrieving something like 500 caches at a time, it would really just put strain on their server. So that's why they limit them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. So if you
It's
just keep
cool,
hitting
though.
the refresh button, it adds 50 more caches, and then you can kind of go back and back.
Yep.
So I just hit it like 6 times or so, and now I have all the caches I found on my way to Denver and back.
Yeah, and you can do that for friends as well, or any other user that you are browsing to in Cachely, so you can see that somebody else's finds as well.
Oh, cool. So anybody's profile that you pull up, you can do that for.
Yep.
Nice.
Nifty.
So we
If
can really
you're-
stalk and spy on people, right?
Yeah, it's just for stalking.
Telling
That's
us.
the reason.
Just
No
for-
digital stalking.
Where has
Did-
Jesse been this week?
That's right.
What did he claimed he found 10? Did he really find 10?
That's right.
Yeah, you can go check the paper logs.
Yeah, go check Memphis Mafia. If your live searches are not finding anything, consider tapping reset on the search options screen. You can reach that via the cog in the search field, or you can peruse all your search settings for something you might have set and forgot to unset, like only search for ape caches or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
that's a little gear icon on the right side of the search field. And I've had users email me and they'll say, I'm trying to load caches and it's loading nothing. You know, what's going on?
Right.
And you know, it's highlighted green when there's a search option activated. So that's supposed to be the indicator that helps. But that does trip up some users not realizing that they've somehow limited their search purposely and then they've forgotten about it. So
right. Because like Jesse's always looking for just 5.5s. So if he's messed himself up searching for 5.5s, he can fix that.
Yep.
It's on there right now.
Is that what you see? You're searching for, I knew it. I knew you were searching for 5.
And unlike other apps, you can actually search for a 1-1 on this one. So
And that's true. You can't do that.
not that I'm picking on any other apps. I just messing around.
That's okay. It's good to mention. It's good to mention. It's something they need to fix. Okay. Thanks, R. Reagan. We got through some of yours. I think it was very helpful. We're into some other ones now. When viewing caches in list view, hard press or long press on older phones to bring up options for that cache, including a show on map option, which will switch to map view and focus on that cache.
Yes.
I've not tried this.
I don't know what phones you guys have. If you have something more a 6S or over, then you can hard press on one of the items, and it will show quite a few options. And the show map thing is kind of nice. If you are browsing list view and you don't actually know where that cache is on the map, you can center on it.
I like this.
Hard press. Like, what does that mean? Hold down?
You actually like press harder on your screen.
Okay. I'm trying that.
You've never done that before?
I have a 7. No, I don't think I've ever done that.
You should. I have a 7. Just instead of just tapping, just act like
Hold
you're
down.
sticking your finger through the screen.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, and if you have an iPhone 6 or below, you can just long press on it.
Long press. Okay, cool. And that could be on it could be on one that I've not found, or it has to be on one that I've never found.
It's for anything in list view.
Oh, anything in list view. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So what do people use?
Oh, yeah,
this
that
for?
does
I'm
work.
wondering.
It's for, so like you're in list view and you want to highlight a bunch of them. You want to quickly add it to an offline list, bookmark, stuff like that, or
Okay.
like the other options, copy cache code or coordinates. It's just an
Yeah.
easier way than going into the detail screen. And yeah,
I guess I just don't use the list view that often. I
Sure.
mainly use the map. So
Yeah, list view
you
is
can do
kind
the
of
same thing from the map. If you pop up one of the map callouts,
Mhm.
you can hard press on that, and it has similar options.
There you
So
go. Very cool. Show on map is we can do those. That's cool. Offline lists.
Oh yeah.
Swipe a row. Yeah, love. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's
I use
something
this
that
all the time.
offline lists are just genius. Swipe a row to the left to see the option menu. Here you'll find options for copy, merge, move, and much more. So go to lists, which your list, not list at the top of your, not the top,
Right.
at the top of the screen. Go to
it's an
Options.
offline tab, right?
What? Look at that.
you like that one?
I like that.
yeah, so a lot of people use the like move, merge, and copy tools because they're always wanting to make like a bigger list or make a list just for a trip or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha.
Or like if you made 2 pocket queries for something and then saved them both offline, you could merge them together.
Yes, that's a very common use for it.
Well, where I will be using it for, and I haven't in the past because I didn't realize you could merge them like that. I'll go through if I'm going to a new area. I'll go through first, obviously, and see if there's any like things I need for
Pop-ups.
Jasmer. It's different search stuff that you can find, right? And then you merge those together, and you know what to hit when you go through there because it's hard to put them all on a list without doing multiple searches. Well, that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm always looking for Earth caches, so I want to make sure I don't miss any of those.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, this year I'm gonna hit my 100 this year, so I am gonna be finding Earth caches.
Jesse, you have found more Earth caches than I have.
No, I haven't.
I believe you have.
51.
I think I'm at 50.
Oh, that's the
Wow.
thing.
Let me check. I can check on Cashly, I think, huh?
Yes, you can. Go to your
You
profile.
can. Go to profile. and check it
See?
All right, I'm going to mine.
Look at
out,
this.
Actually,
Let me see.
I know.
I
I know. I
can
don't
figure
have
this
that
out.
many, so it's not going to be me.
Well, I got to
My
get to
high-
100 this year, so
My highest cache found is somebody by Memphis Mafia, which he didn't like it, but I like that one.
what?
I liked my highest altitude find is your Earth cache,
cache?
in
Oh.
Rocky Mountain National Park, way up at the top.
Oh yeah, it's on the
That's
Geo
it.
Tour up there.
It's on the
You're
Geocache.
right, Jesse. I have 55 Earth cache finds.
Oh, there you go.
Haha, I'm a loser. Wait, that doesn't sound good.
She wins. You're not.
I'm
a
gonna get to
loser.
100 though eventually. So, it's torture.
All right. We're switching now to map layers. Tap the map layers icon on the bottom right of the map
Mhm.
to view the various map layers available, including free offline OSM maps.
Oh yeah.
So, Nick, tell us about this one.
Yeah, so there's the various map providers that are like online maps, which you have to have a connection for, like Google Maps, Apple Maps, OpenStreetMaps, and OpenCycle, stuff like that. Or you can tap the download offline maps option at the top, and then that will download offline OpenStreetMap files, and then you can
Oh,
take those with you. So
And
I
do you
got
know why
you.
that's so important for everybody?
why is that?
Come on, Gary, you know this one. I was the one begging and whining to hopefully get this one day, and it's on there and it's awesome. Shows the county boundaries.
Oh,
Yes, it
county
does.
boundaries. Oh, I started thinking about countries because I was going offline maps and there's all these different countries. So that's kind of cool.
There's so many people out there that hunt different counties
Mhm.
and stuff
Yep.
It's cool.
that, they pull out the paper map and then you look, man, is this in the right county or is this not when you're driving through an area? I saw the sign back there, but was that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, counties are an orange dashed line if you are in it. So you have to zoom in a little further. You can't like zoom out to the entire state, but zoom in a little further, you'll see it.
There
I like
it is.
this.
I don't know if anybody can see that or not, but that's an orange dashed line. Very cool.
I like
Show that
this.
again, Jesse, real quick.
Okay, let's see. We'll zoom in on the lines.
Yes. Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that is important for. I mean,
challenges and people that are county
yeah.
hunters and everything.
I mean, that's important. In Texas, there's what? It seems like
254.
254.
Wow.
And so it is tough. So if you're going to be driving a little trip, you want to make sure you don't find one in the same. If you're like that close to another county, you might as well wait a little bit to get a new county if you can. And that's important for everything. So you started everybody's going with the how many earth caches they have in the chat room, which I think
I see that.
And everybody is more than me.
Lori asked a question since we're on this topic about Delorme pages. Good old Delorme. Is that something that Cashly wants to dabble in?
I have plans for that actually. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, Lori. We're going to talk about Delorme.
Wasn't Delorme just bought by Garmin?
Yes.
So is that going to change up the pages?
Well, that's the problem. Is there's been so many map additions over the years that sometimes the page numbers changes. So you have to reference this specific year of Delorme to get your pages right or whatever.
I'll stick with counties.
Hey, that's another cool thing to search, for especially for challenges and stuff. So very cool. Okay. Let's see. We were offline list type of when on a user profile, you can add that user as a friend. Isn't that sweet?
It's very sweet.
I got Nick to say that. That's awesome. Very cool, especially with the friend leagues that we've got going on. And
yeah. Do people still realize that's going on still?
I don't think many people know it's still going on, but
you can actually go look at it and see it. But it's
you get like a gold medal or something. But I don't think is it not keeping the info though? Like if I win the week, is that?
I don't think so.
But you don't win anything, so
no.
What?
But
you want a digital badge? That counts, right? A digital trophy thing, something.
I like those. I'd like some of those. It's like a souvenir. Okay, next one. You can search for usernames on the friends screen. That's kind of cool. You can search for somebody.
Yeah, on the More tab, if you go to the friends option.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah. Search
cool.
for username, and then you add them as a friend. Browse their finds, their hides, their cache types that they found.
That's right. More stalking.
Yeah, more stalking features.
More stalking features. Okay.
And you can message them from there too, right? So if you tap on their name, it pulls up the profile, and you can right from there you can email them.
Yes. And I was going to mention this later, but in Cashly 4.0, which will be coming out.
Whoa! Cashly 4.0.
If you actually know some of these users and you have them in your iOS contacts, their username, if it's in your iOS contacts, it'll actually show you an option to either call them or text them.
So. What?
That's
phone
pretty cool.
a friend in Cashly.
Man.
If you have that username.
Phone a friend right there.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So,
all right.
Stay tuned for that.
Now we're talking. Yeah, we're going to talk about 4.0 here. You broached the subject, Nick, so we're going to have to at least mention to people that we're going to be talking about 4.0. And you've heard it first. This is an exclusive. Geocache Talk is the first people to let you know. Probably not true, but it sounds good. We're going to talk about 4.0 in a little bit, which I need to also mention. We're going to be giving away 2 geocoins. So Nick, if you've got a coin nearby, if you want to show that coin, there it is. Oh, it is sweet. Look at that thing. It's awesome.
It's very thick.
It is a thick, heavy coin.
I have one somewhere.
Mine's back here somewhere.
My coins all went into a box when I moved, and they haven't come back out yet.
Haven't made the way back out yet. Awesome.
Not all of them. Some of them.
Yep. We're gonna give away one on the show tonight, and then we're gonna give away one this week to our audio listeners. So we haven't forgot about you guys out there and gals in our audio world, out in the world somewhere listening after the show is over. So we're going to do that. And you can't win both. We'll let you do that, but I'll let you win one tonight for the live viewers and then one later on. So Jesse, do you want to say, you had something you were thinking?
No, one of the questions, just because it got brought up earlier before the show, we were talking about it. Somebody asked if Cachly could access open caching, and you haven't really looked into that, right? Just because user base.
It's not just user base, but Cachly is so highly tied with geocaching.com that the interface for open caching, it would just be awkward to try to fit that in and make it work with how Cachly currently is. You know, it almost would need separate interfaces for those open caching caches, you know.
Right.
So,
I mean, it'd be a whole different app, really.
Yeah, anyway, I feel like it'd be so much work for the few people who would really want that. So
You don't have unlimited time?
no. Do you?
Or resources or people.
I do nothing. I do nothing but cache full time, and
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? Right?
And Nick,
How-
don't you have like 50 employees that work for you on this?
Yeah. No, I don't. It's just me.
Oh, it's just you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we forgot to mention that part, that he is
That's the big secret.
I think
Cook
some
the
people
chief.
don't realize that. And then they're like, well, why can't you do this? Why can't you do this? And
Yeah. Some people
It's
actually
just you.
are like say it in an angry voice, you know, like, why aren't you doing this? And they're mad. I don't know why they're mad, but they don't realize that I have Cachly and there's other priorities in my life too, you know?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I think people also don't realize is that you have a full-time job, not Cachly.
Yes.
So people are like, well, he's got all day to work on this. Well, no, he does it when he gets home at night.
And I have a family. I got 2 little kids, my wife, you know?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
and you still have to have time to go caching. So that's
Exactly.
got to be in there somewhere too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's something I think people forget is that, or need to know, is that Nick gets out there and caches, and we all, I think it was the first time, was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but the first time we met Nick, I think was at Geo Woodstock 14er. The first time I met him. Okay, all of us. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we were all there.
Yeah, which was neat. It was kind of. I really was really. I still have that photo, Nick. I used that on Twitter this week just because, that for us was a really cool opportunity for all of us to get together, and it was fun seeing Nick. And he ran off. I could see a little bit. We were there for the announcement of where it was going to be for 15, but you were able to do some training at 14er, and you've done a couple trainings or seminars. Have you done any recently, or?
Well, I've done some events. So I was on East Coast most recently in Connecticut for my work, and then I did a Cachly event there in Hartford. And so then it was kind of, there was new users, there was people that hadn't downloaded Cachly, and so it was kind of an introduction to Cachly, question answer type thing, meet users and stuff like that. So that's the most recent one. But yeah, we've done other ones.
Very cool. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting too, the fact that you're really close to headquarters. I mean, you're like Vancouver, Washington area, so
Yeah.
you're kind of near Seattle, which is I think
like
cool.
2.5 hours away, I think, from headquarters.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So do you have the 8 cache yet?
I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
The day that I visited headquarters, I had to get there early in the morning to talk to them and meet with them. And then I met up with a friend and then left late. So I really only found like the cache that's right outside their building. That's about all I did.
Right.
And the one right in the lobby. So
yeah, which is cool. But
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it's neat that it's back out. So it's
yeah, actually, the day that I was visiting, they were out hiding it.
right.
And then a group of them came back to the office, and then I met some of them that had been out hiding it. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Back to our list here. Maximizing Cachely. In the More tab, there is a history section. Everybody go to your More tab, which is the little 3 dots at the bottom right, if you're on the regular page.
Yeah.
There's a history section. Pardon me.
I did not know about this.
I didn't either.
There's history. Right. Settings, usage, history. In history, you can see all the recent caches that you viewed and can tap to go to them again.
Huh. Would you look at that?
That is cool.
This is also enhanced in 4.0 as well. So with cache type icons and stuff like that.
Wow, it's sweet.
Pretty nifty.
That is
I like
awesome.
this.
We'll get to 4.0 here in 1 second. So
Jumping the gun here.
it's okay. That's all right. You're enticing them. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then somebody came. I like that because there are times when it's like, well, I can go back home. I can go check it online because I can't remember what. But it's like, oh, I looked at that recently. Let me go look at my history. Oh, there it is, right there. So we had a question before the show. We actually put it in the show because it was a cool question that Jesse had about saving coordinates because we talked about how we, as cache owners, we are now using, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but it seemed like we are using Cachely more to do some of the sort of prep work, as it were.
No, yeah, for sure. Hiding with most people, again, hide with their phones, and then, and that's Cachely is the one I go to for all my caching. So of course I'm going to hide using that as well. And every once in a while I'll pull up other things to double check, and put it in maps and obviously when I get home I check it and check with the reviewer to make sure that spot was actually open and all the circles were right and everything. But that's absolutely how I've hidden the last lot of caches that I've hidden was with the app. So I wasn't really sure the quickest way to do that, but I think we've already hinted at it now in the show, so people kind of know. But I didn't know that there was an easy way to do that. But that pin is awesome.
Well, or tapping your current location will give you the option to save that.
And so then I tap that and I hit that little I if people are doing it. And you can hit save location from there and you can just name it. So this is the new cache I'm hiding, whatever. And it's got latitude, longitude, and everything right in there. That would have come in handy recently if I'd have known that little trick when I went out with a group and hit a bunch recently for an upcoming event. And I wish I'd have known that. I was doing a lot of stuff by hand. I didn't even realize I could have done that. But that's a cool way to do it now.
It's very handy. Because I either forgot about it like you did, Jesse, or we just didn't know about it. But what I'll do is if I'm out trying to figure out a location or getting a location, I will go to whatever cache is nearby, and in Cachely it'll show you, where the coordinates are, where you're trying to get to that cache. It'll also tell you where you currently are. And so I was kind of using that, but it was kind of kludgy because you had to kind of like I was taking photos of it, and that's kind of,
We've all done some weird things.
This is weird stuff, but this is much easier. And you click the plus button, and you can just save the location right there. See, so that's.
And if you got the cache radius circles on,
yep.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, you can see that you're not within distance of ones that are known. So you wouldn't know about hidden stages or finals or anything like that. Right. That's why you always email, the reviewer before you put all the work in. But,
sure.
But that's as much information as you can pull up, and then you've got it, and you can save it right there, and it saves to offline list. No, saved locations, right?
Yeah, in the More tab. So it's a local saves. It's not synced with anything currently.
But still, it's accessible and it's something you can use.
Yep.
Or you can
Is there any limit on how many you can do in there? Or
no, you could save 1,000 if you wanted to.
I don't want to hide that many caches.
Come on, Jesse.
Or maybe one multi, right? But
right, 1,000
multi.
Wow.
Oh God, please don't.
I would hate myself for that.
You would get a lot of flack if you did that.
I would just hide it in your name. Terminator 2.
I can see Jesse getting cache maintenance logs of stage 438 is missing. Can you go fix that for me? No.
Oh, which one was that again?
Yeah, which one's 438? You can copy coordinates too, by the way, on that, so that's kind of cool. So
That is cool.
Okay. We're going to talk about 4.0 now, but I'm going to throw in the coin question for the day. So everybody get ready in the chat room. This is the question for tonight, and you can win a Cashly coin. So be ready, and here we go. It is coin prize question time. The answer is not 42. So, I like that. Frank Barrow, he's like 1,000 stages in a multi better be a D5. What if they're all easy stages though, Frank? I don't know about that. So, all right, here we go. We talked about earlier on the show because I could not remember because it's been so long since I purchased Cashly. But if you were to go purchase it right now in the App Store, how much does it cost?
Is this a live giveaway? So people are supposed to be guessing? This
is a live giveaway. We have another question. This is not the question for the audio listeners. I have a second question for that. Oh, we got a winner.
Yeah.
We have a winner. They're all rolling in now. Walter, the geocaching ham is our winner.
You got to try to pronounce the first part.
Oh, the KD. That's rolling by two.
It's ham radio ID.
I like the fact that you got 499, and then geocaching Adam. Damn it.
I like the Weber Expedition at $4.99 US. Look at that.
Right. There you go.
That's the most accurate one, probably.
That is.
Well, Curiosity Girl said it too, though. So a couple people said that.
Yeah. So, but very cool. So, Walter, I need you to email geocachetalk@gmail.com, your mailing address, and I will get that to Nick, and we will get you one of those cool coins sent out to you. So later on, I'm going to be asking a question for the other coin for the audio listeners. You'll have a week. We'll have a cutoff of next Saturday at midnight will be the next one. So Sky One, he's in there. So it's funny, everybody listening currently on the show putting in all their info about the question. So, all right, I'm distracted. I get back to the subject. All right. So you mentioned, Nick, something I was not exclusive mention of this, that 4.0 is going to be coming out sometime. So tell us a little bit about 4.0 and what's in store for us.
I won't mention all the features, but I'll just mention 3.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So this will be officially supporting iPad, which some people have been using for a while, but it's like a big blown up version of the iPhone interface, which looks really bad. And every time somebody would send me a screenshot with a question from the iPad, I would just feel really sad because it just looked awful.
Right.
So it'll actually, look great on the iPad. The interface will be different. Interactions with buttons and stuff like that will all be like you are used to on an iPad. So that'd be great. And part of supporting the iPad meant that I had to support landscape. So that will also be the second big feature. So landscape on your phones, landscape on iPad, which is another feature that people have requested for a long time. So
that'll be great.
Those two things sound simple, but those have taken a lot of development time.
Cool.
A lot of changes to make those kind of things happen.
That landscape will be awesome though, because for people that use the iPad in the vehicle and you do the route to function, with like Apple Maps or whatever, that's great because that makes more sense. Yeah. You turn it sideways, you get the maps and everything. That'll be very cool.
Yeah.
I like the one feature if you're we're talking about maximizing Cashly, and we'll go into detail, but I like this one that
Gary's favorite.
My favorite is it'll flip over, which I thought when I first mentioned
the cup holder feature.
It's the cup holder feature. If you stick in your phone in the cup holder, You can always have it pointing upward, regardless of how you do it.
There you
What's
go.
funny is
that will still work.
when I first mentioned that to Nick, I was like, he's like, oh, take a look. He goes, no, that's harder than it looks. So, but anyway, all right. So that's a cool feature 4.0. Keep going.
Yeah, and then the last one I already briefly mentioned. So on your friends list, if you have some of those usernames in your iOS contacts app, you can put it in like the company field, you can put it in the notes field or the nickname field. Those are the 3 fields that we're kind of looking for data in. And if you allow access to your iOS contacts, there's always that permissions dialog that will show up the first time you do it. It'll then show a texting icon and a phone icon next to one of those friends that it found in your iOS contacts. So if you actually use the friends feature in Cachly and you have some of those in your iOS contacts, then it will show up and you can use it. It'll also be on the user profiles page. So if you browse to a user and see their profile page, you'll also see new buttons for texting and calling if that's available for that user. So Sydney's probably looking at that right now. I think she's using the beta.
Yeah, because for people that don't know, there are beta testers that you have, which is, I think it's really cool that you're have the community involved. One thing also, I'm sure you're going to do this, but I want to ask, because you tend to do this with every version, was you give a very nice detailed list that I can even copy and share with all of our listeners and patrons and everybody. When 4.0 does come out, you will list sort of everything that you kind of have done within that app version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of makes it. I write it for actually the App Store, like what's new description, and so I try to be as descriptive as possible. But yeah, that's basically where the list comes from, is for the App Store.
But very important. I tell you that it means a lot to me that you do that, because how often have we all gotten updates on our phone, regardless of what version you have, and it just says bug fixes. Well, what did you fix? Or I've even seen enhancements in bug fixes. What did you? Okay, right. Well, if there's enhancements, tell me what they are. I mean, bug fixes. Okay, I don't really have to have a list, but I'd like one. But enhancements, oh my gosh, give me a list. So I really do appreciate that you're doing that for everybody. So
sure,
very, very, very grateful for that. So, do we have a general time frame, or what would you like to share as far as, you want to call it soon? What do you want to call 4.0? Spring, summer?
Yeah, not summer. Soon.
Okay.
So I don't want to say any actual dates, because then people try.
No, we don't want to do that. But just
so we'll say
I just
soon.
want to give soon. Okay, so next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before they update where it goes.
That's not helpful.
Okay, I was given a time frame. What?
Maybe never. Let's hope not. But
2
which,
questions,
by the way,
for Nick in the chat room. These are. I want to make sure we get these before we forget.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's do that.
Because they're scrolling through. 1, where do you buy Cachly shirts? And I actually added the link to your website in there. And then 2, will they be for sale at Geo Woodstock for people that are going?
Currently, the way to get Cachly shirts is to go to cachly.com or cach.ly. That's harder to remember. And there's a shirts link on the top. Those are from a shirt company called Spreadshirt. So they print them kind of a one-off if somebody purchases them. I did have some shirts made up and we did promotional stuff. So some users got them that way through a promo. As far as being for sale, I don't know how I would do that at a big event like Geo Woodstock. So no, I have not thought about that. But yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind. So
we'll have the link is in the chat room right now, and we're putting in the the show notes too, so people will be able to go back later if they want to get straight to that.
Perfect.
Okay, more questions?
That was it. I didn't want to get behind on the chat room. It's flowing pretty well.
Oh, that's fine. It flows fast tonight. We've got a lot of people online, which is great. We appreciate everybody who is there. If you have questions, this is a good time to ask, because we're sort of getting to the end of the show, and we don't want to miss any of your information. Really, we do appreciate the chat room. Chat room is always cool, because they stay with us on the topics, but yet they can kind of go on their little rabbit trails, which are kind of fun to watch the rabbit trails.
I think we
during the
kind of
show
talked
as
about
well.
it, but I don't know if it was before the show or after we started. Nick, are you going to be at Geo Woodstock?
No, I won't be this time, but Cashly's one of the major sponsors. So we're actually a sponsor of the Geo Tour as well as the whole event. So you'll see Cashly's name in a lot of places. So
Okay.
That's awesome. We appreciate that. We appreciate your sponsorship and your patrons. We got both from Nick. It's awesome. So, all right. So I'm going to mention the second coin question. That's not for tonight. So chat room, don't answer.
And don't give away the answer.
Don't give away the answer. This is for all of the audio listeners, which the live listeners, if they want to give a shot at it. But in that case, I'm going to take all the answers, put them in the random.org hat, and pull one out, and that'll be the winner. But if you want to answer as well, you can send that email to geocachetalk@gmail.com, and you will be entered to win. So, except for Walter, the geocaching ham, you are out, sir, because you already got one. Sometime earlier in the show, I mentioned the town where, or at least near the town nearby where Nick lives, in a beautiful part of the country. So if you would email me where that is, I need the actual city that I mentioned because you could sort of guess an area. So send me the name of the city and you will be entered in that drawing. I need the answer by midnight Central Time by Saturday next week, so I can announce the winner on Sunday and get the information to Nick so he can send you a coin. So, all right. Sort of final thoughts of wrapping up on the Cashly discussion tonight. Sydney, you have anything else to add about Cashly?
I just can't believe how many things I didn't know. Like, I thought I knew a lot about Cashly. Like, I use this all the time. And
you're a beta tester.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of the stuff I didn't know. This is crazy.
That's
but
good, though.
I am a beta tester. I have seen some of the new stuff. You guys are going to be really excited. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Jesse, what are some of your last thoughts on Cashly?
Well, it's no secret that I'm both a purely cell phone cacher and a Cashly user. I love Cashly, and I was hesitant at first, because I had really dug into that original, not the new piece of
the classic.
Not the classic. I had really learned how to do that. I thought, why would I ever need another app? Yeah, classic or geocaching or whatever we were calling it for a while.
No, not geocaching. That's the new one, but yeah,
that's the new one. Yeah, that jump.
Like Coke Classic versus New Coke a little bit, but yeah.
Geocaching Classic. So let's call it classic. When I had that app back in the day, I thought, well, there's nothing more that could possibly be added to an app that I would possibly need geocaching. All it needs is the coordinates, right? And I got into Cashly, and I love it. There's more stuff, and I'm a pretty good user of it. I mean, I try to use all the features, and we just straight learned like 7 new things in like 10 minutes that I had no idea about. So I think it's cool how, and Nick, of course we know him too, but he's so responsive, and he's adding things in there that cachers actually are going to use, not just something that looks cool. So bang for the buck, best app out there, and it's just awesome. I love the app. So and how responsive you are to Nick, it's just great.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep. And Nick, some final thoughts on Cashly?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys' kind words. I am humbled by your kind words about it. But yeah, stay tuned for 4.0. There's lots more features, big list, tons of bug fixes. So I'm excited to get that out as soon as possible. So
very cool. And we are so grateful that you've come on the show. And like I mentioned, we go back to the beginning, and you have been so gracious to help us out, be part of the show, and give us your support and give us stuff to give away and all that. And so it has been wonderful to be a part of this with you on this sort of journey. So again, thanks, Nick, for being on, and we look forward to 4.0, and we'll talk more, of course, down the line as we get to there. So
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
you bet. Before we wrap up tonight, Sydney, I'm going to turn this over to you. So
Sure. I have made the decision to leave Geocache Talk as a host. I know that's sad to quite a few people. It's sad for me, but just for personal reasons. I have a lot going on in my life. I don't want to really get into it, but I just want to thank all the listeners for all their support, and everybody coming up to me and saying hi and thanks for listening to the show, and really thanks Gary and Jesse for their support as well. And it's been a great time on here. You guys have, I've met via the internet some people, and met you guys in real life. You guys are, great friends that I, would never want to change that. So thank you, everyone.
Yep. Yeah, we're very sad to see Sydney leave. Not completely. Well, you can come back once in a while. You're definitely more than welcome to come back. When our friendships, I don't think will ever change, and this does not change anything at all, Sydney. And we support your decision. We definitely want to have you back periodically to join the show, but we understand what you're needing to do here. So,
yeah, and that sentiment is obviously echoed by me as well, and several people in the chat room. So,
I see that.
It's you're not going to disappear though. You're still going to be out there. You know. And you can't get rid of us that easy.
Yeah, I know. But yes, thank you to all the listeners. I know you guys are all. They're all like doing sad face emojis right now at me.
Or shock.
I know.
So we're doing the shock emoji with the hands on the face kind of thing. So.
But I do hope to, if you guys are going to Geo Woodstock, I'm hoping to be there. So if you do go, try and find me. I'd be happy to hang out with you guys. So.
Yeah.
Very cool.
She'll definitely be missed, and I think we don't have, there's no way we can replace you, Sydney. So it's just going to be the two knuckleheads.
The guys show now.
Yeah, me and Jesse. Well, hey, and something that you mentioned about we try to have on, and we've been very supportive, I think, on our show of we didn't have you on because of gender or youth, or because you're a little younger than I am, but we don't do it that way. But one thing I do want to mention, because we've never really talked about this, is the fact that we never look at that kind of thing, but we do want to give voices to those who sometimes maybe are neglected, and so. Tom is a lot younger. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that.
Somebody had to say it, Gary. Come on.
Yeah. So hopefully people realize that. If you go back and look at all our shows, we've had men, women, young, old, international guests. So we're not exclusively U.S. I don't know. We never get into politics or religion or stuff like that. That's not our area. But go ahead, Jesse.
Well, it's a game for everybody, right? I mean, that's
Right.
That's the thing to remember. We all come from different backgrounds, and it's kind of funny. I just realized that Nick was there at Geo Woodstock, which really the genesis of this show wouldn't have happened for that. He just happened to be there for that too. Now all four of us are sitting here. But it's a game for everybody, and we hope to continue to express that. Like, we all joke around a lot, but it's a game for everybody, and it should be. No matter how advanced some of the topics are, that's new people come into the game all the time. So from all walks of life. So hope we continue that and give that message out.
Yeah. I think that's important. Like I said, we don't really get into some of the topic things, but one thing that we've always been committed to is what Jesse's talking about. The fact that we are not going to exclude anyone because of any of those crazy reasons that are out in the world that you hear about. There's no place on Geocache Talk. So
we even accept people that like Earth caches. So we'll take anybody, right? So
or where I go.
Yeah.
Oh, easy. I'm out of here.
That's right. So, Nick, the best way to reach you would be the support email. Is that what you want people to?
Yeah, I'm also on Twitter at Cashly app, or you can go to cashly.com. Catch me there. Facebook, just search for Cashly.
Okay. But if you have a question, send a question to support at cashly.com.
Not cashly.com, support at cach.ly. So
Okay.
cash.ly. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Support at cach.ly if you
Which
have
you
a
can
question.
get to via the app, correct?
Yeah, if you're in the app, tap on the More tab and scroll to the bottom. There's a contact support option, which is actually really helpful because you can send like kind of extra data that has to do with the API, and I can troubleshoot based on that data that's being sent. So it's really helpful.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, coming up on the show next week, we're doing What's New at HQ with Rock Chalk from geocaching.com. So if you have questions and some people have sent me questions that they want us to ask geocaching.com. So feel free to send us those at geocachetalk@gmail.com. And Sydney will be on that show with me. Jesse's not going to be able to make that show.
Yeah, Jesse's running out on you, Gary, so I guess I'll stay.
I'm going to be on the road, but I've talked to my buddy that we're going on this road trip with, and he understands that I want to try to be somewhere at that time to log in. So I'll let you know. Okay. This weekend, the next coming up weekend. So
no problem. But
even caching goal I got to hit for the next weekend. So,
well, either way, we will be doing a show with Rock Chalk, and we have a lot of questions. And he's been gracious to us in the past. I had him on like show 6. So we talked about the Project Ape Cache. That's before the old one that is now out now for a second one. But he wanted some questions ahead of time so he could do some research. So we've sent him some. So I need your questions early for Rock Chalk for that. So the week after that, we're no show. That's going to hopefully be the appearance of the Geocaching Oracle. And we're trying something new. If it crashes and burns, then you'll never hear about you'll never hear us mention the Geocaching Oracle again. But if it works, then it was genius. It was Jesse's genius. If it works, if it's not, then it's on me. I'll do it that way.
There you go.
There you go. And then show 85 officially will be the week after that, and we're going to talk about geocaching and road tripping, trip planning, and also what to do when plans go awry. I don't have that in the whole title, but I know that's going to be a topic that I want to add in there, Jesse. Is you're somewhere, you had a plan, and now the plan's gone through.
Yeah, and this would come in perfect because one of the reasons why I'm going to be out of town is I'm going to be on kind of a caching trip and be out of town. I'm trying to plug in for that one, but it takes a lot of planning to make one of those things happen. And I definitely have some gone awry stories too. So hopefully no new ones, but have some older ones. So.
Right. But we want to cover everything. That's something about the show. We don't, we're not going necessarily for the quick 101 stuff. We kind of like to dig deep. So we're going to go a little deeper on the road tripping and what can literally happen is when plans go awry. So hope you enjoy the show tonight. Please email us your comments at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Geocache Talk is one of the Twitters. Mine is at Gary Slinkard, all one word. Jesse is at Memphis_Mafia. Sydney is at Shermanator GC. And Nick is at Cashly App, all one word, at Cashly App. And Facebook.com/Geocache Talk. Show can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, or Google Play, as well as the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button below so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis and have that reminder. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching. Go get Cashly and then go geocaching. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.